Hey everyone, welcome to another painting process video. In the backdrop here, I'll be showing the process for my K-pop Demon Hunters artwork, as well as going into a topic that might ruffle some feathers. Now, of course, the title of the video is meant to be a bit baity, and it's the idea of having people like your art. Now, obviously, when we are looking to be professional for financial purposes, we do have to appeal to people's tastes, and that, of course, means that you need people to like your art. Now, of course, knowing this, you might fall into the trap of trying to appeal too much towards other people. This is especially true as you are constantly improving and you're trying to find your style, and the world is limitless in this industry. So, knowing that, people will often default into the styles that feel like it'll make the most money by casting the biggest nets possible. After all, as you get better at what you do, obviously more and more people will like your work, right? Well, it's not as simple as that, because I'm going to tell you a straight on fact that will be more abundantly obvious as you get more experience, especially as a professional. And it's the idea that you should probably give up on the fact that everyone will like your art. In fact, most people statistically will never ever like your art, no matter what you do. The most obvious way to think about this is, let's talk about what would be the biggest net in at least current society of the aesthetic meta, so to speak. I think most people would agree that something like Disney would cast a pretty big net in the Western world and even worldwide in general. And yes, we know that Disney movies and their franchise sells a lot, and you can make a great living just emulating it or even working for them. But we all know, even within your own sphere of friends, that there's going to be people who are indifferent or even hate the Disney style. And honestly, I am one of them. So, despite the fact that, yes, statistically, Disney styles will have the biggest base to work off of, you're still not going to appeal to everybody. And that is perfectly okay. The great thing about art is we have a lot of artists doing entirely different styles, and each of them will appeal to a subsection of the market. There is no style that will monopolize every single taste that people have. Now, of course, I am simplifying things. Obviously, people can like more than one style, but ultimately, my point is that everybody will have their own taste, and there's no style that will universally capture everybody. The sooner you understand this, the more freeing it is for you. Because once you understand that there is no way you can ever cater to everybody, you have license to experiment and craft your own style rather than just finding the most popular thing and catering to the market because you feel that will make the most money. In fact, I would even argue that it's better to not do that, because as artists, we are going to do better committed to a style that we enjoy rather than compromising yourself just for the sake of likes and money. Especially in the internet age, you will find that there are so many people out there with entirely different tastes that you can reach out to. You'll be surprised just how many ways you can approach art that will appeal to a market enough so that it'll financially support you. Now, not to toot my own horn, but my style is a very weird hybrid of a lot of things. And I find that I don't really cater specifically to one niche or another because I just combine everything that I like together, like video games, anime, that sort of thing. You can certainly cater much more specific if you, let's say, want to cater directly to anime fans. You know the style that will get them going. And certainly what I'm doing is not specifically catered towards them. However, I found the weird hybrid that seems to capture the imagination of a large enough audience, even though I don't get the most hardcore anime fans or the most hardcore video game fans and that sort of thing. There's a weird middle ground niche that I sort of hit. And as with any other style, most people are just going to be indifferent or downright hate what I do. The best way to prove this is for those who have tabled at conventions, you'll understand there are tens to hundreds of thousands of people wandering in a convention. Now, how many of them are actually buying your work or even stopping at your table? Statistically, at least on my end, most likely less than 1% of the entire convention. It is absolutely impossible to have a convention unanimously agree that your style is so amazing that they're willing to support you, each and every single one of those attendees. There is no style, even if you bring out the most popular stuff like Disney looks, that you will cater to every single person in that event. In fact, like with any other style, you'll probably maybe get less than 1% if you're lucky. So my point being, choose whatever style and aesthetic that you like and commit to it and make it your own. When you do that, you'll most likely do it better than a lot of people because you stay true to yourself. Most people won't like your art anyways, and that's perfectly fine. So stop chasing a goal that doesn't exist. You will never find a style that will cater to everybody, so just be yourself. There is a trap that can occur if you have this mentality, however. You also don't want to take it too far and just work within a vacuum. If you push it too far, then you can tell yourself, well, screw everybody else, I'm just going to make stuff for myself. Now, of course, if you are a hobbyist and you're not looking for financial gain in the industry, you are very much welcome to make art for yourself, and that's completely fine. But for business, you will probably have to compromise a little bit to appeal to the market. So don't take my word as if it's licensed to just ignore what trends are out there and what people will generally like. Heck, I am painting K-pop Demon Hunters here, which is one of the most popular movies of this year. I am very familiar with giving red meat for people to chomp on. Ultimately, every artist will have to find that balance between personal tastes and the market tastes. Because yes, it is ultimately a job, and you will have to find a way to do art that you can tolerate while also giving something for the market and contributing towards it. Otherwise, you risk casting a net so small that there's not enough people to support you financially. For myself, of course, I have just a bit of the anime look, and the subjects I draw is very appealing to a certain type of audience that will both work for me and the market. So yes, even though most people will never like our art, we do need to ensure that at least some of it is tolerable for the market at hand, for whatever aspect and angle of the art industry you want to work in. It's why I always tell people to research and constantly find and study the trends going on in your area of the world. And if you feel like you didn't cast big enough of a net, then it might be because you need to continue to study the technical art fundamentals and improve your execution, or you might have to find a different angle to your style. Either way, it gives you something to improve on while also not overstressing yourself in trying to be too perfect, which is what I find with a lot of students and even for myself as I was starting out. I was just trying too hard to appeal to too many people when it's much easier just being yourself and drawing what works for you and just enough to give to everybody else as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Here is the final piece for my K-pop Demon Hunters artwork. Please share, like, and subscribe. I'm doing my best to just show you my painting process. Hopefully people can learn something from it, as well as just talking about my experience as a professional artist, and perhaps people listening will get some ideas on how to go about their own art. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.